Hey, this is Carrie from Wrap Your Head Around Silks. This is the Expecting Aerialist podcast. How's it going, guys? Thanks so much for being with me. If you check the show notes, there's a link there for Aerial Rehab, the new 3-part video series that I'm working on. It'll go straight to inboxes for free. Go ahead and check there and sign up. Also, the free mini course by Wrap Your Head Around Silks. If you just want to get a taste of my teaching style for free, check out there. All right, guys. Today we have Hykui Hovanessian. She is actually a student of mine. She's a mom of 3. She just had her 3rd boy. And she started her aerial yoga journey at Upflying Yoga here in LA. And she has had her aerial practice and gone through the journey of having her 3 kids, and I just think her story is really amazing and wanted to share it with you. Okay, here we go. Let's get started.
Okay, so my name is Hykui Hovanessian. I was born in Armenia. I later moved to the United States when I was a toddler and grew up here. And I actually started aerial yoga in 2014 when one of my friends told me about a cool upflying yoga studio that I decided to try for the first time. It was just a level 1 yoga aerial class. And I fell in love since that first class, because just being in the hammock and being able to do all those stretches and moves felt so good for me versus like grounded yoga. And then the inversion was the best part of the class when I got to go upside down. And after that, I just continued going to the weekly yoga classes. And shortly after I started, a few months later, I found out I was pregnant with our first son. I have 3 boys now with our first son. And I continued doing aerial yoga with my first pregnancy until the very end, until basically 38, 39 weeks. So it was a really nice experience for me, being especially at the end when we would do Shavasana and I would be laying in the hammock and I would feel my baby kicking inside while I was, like a little cocoon myself in that hammock, and he was inside me. It was a really nice experience, a really memorable experience for me. First time feeling that.
I don't actually know the story. It's such an integral part of your first pregnancy, and that you only came to it right before you were pregnant. I had no idea. I thought you were in it before that.
No, I started in June 2014 at Upflying Yoga, and in October I was pregnant. And at first I was worried. I said, "Oh no, am I going to have to leave this now hobby or what I love doing once a week?" And after speaking to the owner and one of the instructors, Kim, she told me that it's completely safe. And I actually took some prenatal yoga classes with her too while I was pregnant. I found that very helpful. I had a very easy birth. I was in labor for a few hours, and then I actually had my first son in 30 minutes. I pushed him out. Yeah.
And did you, what was the experience for you?
I had to be induced because I was 41 and a half weeks and he wasn't coming naturally in any way. I tried a million things, and so I just had to be induced. But after induction, probably maybe like 5 hours after being induced, I was fully dilated and ready to push, and I pushed him out in 30 minutes. And I had a normal recovery. 6 weeks after I was cleared, after my OB cleared me, I went right back to aerial yoga. Continued doing it for another year until I was pregnant again with my second son.
And you guys planned the second pregnancy? Yes.
Yes. We wanted them close in age. We wanted them to be to grow up, with similar interests and just to be really close. So my oldest son was 10 months when I was pregnant with our second son, and they were born 18 months apart.
Were you still breastfeeding your first while you were pregnant?
Yes, I was breastfeeding my first. And once he was like 1 year old, I had to stop because I started having like mini contractions while I was breastfeeding. And then my OB said, you need to stop breastfeeding because it can cause your uterus is contracting and it could cause you to have a miscarriage. So my goal was 1 year, so it was perfect. It was right on time. I stopped, had a little break, a 6-month break until I had second baby. And then I had someone latching onto me again for a whole other year. So I had a very little period of time to myself.
And I met you sometime after your second kid was born, right?
Yes. So after baby number 2, I did the whole pregnancy with baby number 2. I did the same exact thing. I went to up flying yoga. I did only aerial yoga classes. I went to aerial yoga classes until I was 38 weeks pregnant. This one, the second one, came at 38 weeks. I had actual contractions. I knew what it was like to actually be naturally in labor versus being induced. So I had him in 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
I wish I had like these like really tough stories of like really long labor.
I feel like
all the horror stories.
we hear so many of those, and I feel like it might be good for my listeners to get one of these stories because it doesn't have to be so hard. I mean, but you talk about Kim and Kim Simonetti, right? She actually was my very first guest on this podcast.
Oh, I've heard that interview. I really enjoyed your guys' interview.
Yeah, so she's awesome. And she also has that spinning babies technique in her practice, right?
Yes.
So she had so much knowledge to impart on you, which is great.
Yes, I was very, very lucky to experience both my pregnancies with her. And I asked her a bunch of advice throughout the whole thing, and she was very helpful. And I had a really good pregnancy with all 3. I didn't have any of the nausea, vomiting, any of that stuff. And then I've always loved being pregnant, I think, because I've had it so easy. And the delivery and recovery has been so easy. That's why I guess we kept having more.
Well, I mean, that might have helped, but I didn't have the worst pregnancy. Yeah. And I hated being pregnant. Like, I hated it.
Oh my God. It was like the best time of my life times 3.
Well, I think that must have a huge impact on because in my mind, I'm like, cool, let's have another one. Can you do it this time, Asa? That's how I feel. I'm like, can your body be the vessel this time? Apparently it doesn't work like that. If I was in a lesbian relationship, then I would be like, it's your turn.
It's your turn, right? No, I've had a lot of friends that have had traumatic birthing experiences or pregnancies that have kept them at just one child. It's been a horror story.
Yeah, depending. But so when I met you, you were postpartum second baby.
Yes.
And you were at that time past just the aerial yoga. When did you start doing silks and hoop and all that stuff?
So after baby number 2, I went back again after 6 weeks and did aerial yoga for a whole nother year. And then post 1 year after second baby, I was like, you know what? I think I want to start getting back into shape. I've had 2 kids back to back. I haven't had a chance for it to be about my body and getting back into shape and what I want. So I started a weight loss journey. And as I lost weight, I was like, now I feel like I can carry myself up and do all these other things that I see these girls doing in between classes, like all the silks and hammock classes, like aerial dance and hoop. So as I lost weight, I started getting into aerial dance, and I was taking dance classes at Up, and I started dance classes in Womack. So, and then once I started that, I fell in love with all the apparatuses too, especially hoop. Hoop was one of my favorite apparatuses. And then 4 years later, I was pregnant again, and with our 3rd son. And I asked Kim the same thing. I said, oh my gosh, this time I'm pregnant, but I've been doing aerial dance and hammock and silks and hoop. Do I need to stop? I know it's different because yoga's more slow paced. Do I need to stop aerial dance? And she said, no, don't stop, because you want to keep up your strength throughout the pregnancy. You just have to make sure you keep it safe with drops and, don't wrap your belly. And she just gave me tips on how to navigate through this pregnancy now with aerial dance. So I was able to stay safe, and I did aerial hammock and aerial silks dance up until 35 weeks pregnant. So I still kept going to aerial dance hammock classes and aerial silks classes up until 35 weeks because it was a lot harder to try to lift my body weight. I had gained 25 pounds. It was harder to lift my body weight versus yoga. It was more of like a relaxation and slow paced class. So I think I kept going. I switched over to yoga the last few weeks because it just felt better on my body. And then baby number 3, are you ready? Came out in 3 minutes.
What?
Yeah, I was in shock.
Like 3 minutes from when? Like after you dilated 10 centimeters?
Well, yeah, I dilated at 10 centimeters, and then they like called the doctor, and the doctor got there in like 10 minutes. And then I also called my mom at the same time as they called the doctor. I was like, Mom, hurry up. And she was only 10 minutes away too. I was like, hurry up, because they were allowing more than one person that week. They had just changed the regulations because of COVID. They were allowing more than one person. I'm like, Mom, hurry up, come, because she was present with my other 2 birds.
Okay.
So by the time she drove over and she parked and she came in, the baby was in the warmer. And she's like, why didn't you call me earlier? I'm like, Mom, I called you right when they said I'm ready to push. You're late. It only took me 3 minutes.
Oh my God, you're like the 1%er, I feel like.
Oh yeah, I was in disbelief. This one, I was really in disbelief because I had a 4-year gap, and I'm like, oh, what if my body like doesn't know how to push them out easily? What if like it takes me hours? What if I have to have a C-section? I was really worried. But then like 3 pushes later, the baby Adonis, our baby boy, was on my chest, and I'm like, I'm done. I literally asked the doctor, I'm like, that's it? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, I'm sure.
Do you have like the healthiest pelvic floor? Like what's going on there?
I have
like
very flexible hips. I have no other flexible part of my body. I don't have flexible like legs, back, nothing. I don't have splits. I don't have a bendy back. I just have very flexible hips. And I don't know if they became more flexible because of aerial and aerial yoga, or if that's just how my body is, the anatomy of my body. But I blame it on my hips.
And your body like your body, I assume, just loves being a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can assume, because that is not the case for all women. And I love that there is an example of this because it's very rare, I think. At least the women that I know.
If you can sit in a full lotus, there might be chances of an easy birth for you ladies out there.
A full lotus is when you're sitting with your ankles crossed and you're over your knees.
Yes.
Hykui, I can do that. That has nothing to do with my tight ass pelvic floor. No, it has nothing. No, like your bones, I understand your bones, like your bone structure is probably quite like amazing for giving birth, but the pelvic floor is just like whether or not it wants to. You probably have a really healthy pelvic floor, because a healthy one really like is like a trampoline. It's strong, but then it can relax and give, and you know, all that stuff. I love this. Okay, so you love being pregnant. Are you like, now you have 3 boys? You're totally what is the word I'm looking for? You are outnumbered.
I am outnumbered
in
4
your
boys
house.
and just me.
Would you have a 4th just to see if you could have a girl?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I go back and forth a lot. I don't want more boys. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't mind more kids. I just don't want more boys. I love the 4 I have now.
Yeah, you're over. You're
as the 4th.
Totally. I have a girl. I feel like I just love having a girl, right? But if I had a boy, I would also love having a boy. So, but I do feel like it's nice to like in my household of 3, like there's 2 of us and there's Asa.
Yeah.
You know, well, so he gets to deal with all the feminine stuff.
Right. I don't have to deal with all the feminine stuff. I just have to deal with all the sports and the muddy clothes and the wrestling and the blood.
All the blood. Oh my God. So when it comes to you now, because you're about a year after your 3rd, right?
Yes, he just turned a year. He's 13 months actually.
Okay. Are you back in the studio now?
Yeah, I went back again 6 weeks after.
Okay, so tell us about tell us how it feels. Like, how do the inversions feel? How does it feel on your body for those ladies out there who are kind of, going through it, but maybe, kind of confused or not sure what to expect?
So after baby number two, when I started doing aerial dance, I realized that I have a lot of issues with my core, and my second baby was 9.5 pounds. So I definitely have the abdominal wall
Wait,
separation. DR,
you're 9.5 pounds and still the baby came out in like
20
however many
minutes with
minutes?
no tears, vaginally, yes.
No tears and also no epidural?
No, I had epidural with all three. No. I would never go
Okay.
through that pain.
Okay. Not that, I mean, I had an epidural as well,
Yeah.
ended up with a C-section, but okay. So you did have a bit of diastasis recti after the first.
I'm not sure if after the first, because I never did dance, so I just did yoga.
Okay. So you're
Yeah.
saying after the second you knew
Second,
about it.
yeah, and he was a really big baby. He was 9.5 pounds. So, and it was my heaviest pregnancy that I had. So, after that, I realized through my years of doing aerial, as strong as I would get and as much strength and stamina I would build, I still suffer till this day, even after baby number three, with a lot of core issues and a lot of inversions. I'm not ashamed to say I still don't have my inversions like in the air. There's no way I can invert in the air. Um, it's just something that I've accepted that maybe one day, whether through surgery or
Like even I'm at the studio 5 days a week. I teach 7 classes a week. My inversion is not what I want it to be. It is really shallow and not wide. And even though I have the flexibility, like it's, I like have the straddle that some of my beginner students have, and it sucks. But I also have this beautiful daughter, and my body is going to take however long it's going to take. I wouldn't say it's not embarrassing, because I do feel quite embarrassed about it sometimes. Like it goes back and forth. Like I also have like a shallow hip socket on my right side. So it comes out of its place often. And I have to, not complete dislocation, but like a millimeter, right? And it creates a lot of pain around the hip. And I have to do all my PT exercises for weeks and see my chiropractor. And that can take a couple weeks. And I actually have that issue right now. And so I taught all this week without doing a lot of inversions. So like, it's like, okay, well, I can't really get tons of momentum on it because I end up having to nurse it and then come back. So I feel that, but I love that you've gotten to a place where you just keep on working on it, but it doesn't seem like you have too many emotions around it.
I used to, and that was also something I wanted to tell you about. After baby number two, I was always frustrated in class to be the weakest student in class during the conditioning portion, because I couldn't do the straddles and I couldn't do inverts. I couldn't do meat hooks and all the difficult things that all these other, girls were able to do. And it would bother me a lot. And I would think like, well, am I never going to advance in my aerial journey because I can't do these inversions? I can't invert in the air. And it would bother me a lot. But now, after baby number three, I don't look at it that way. I just go in there and it's just my 90 minutes or hour that I get to myself to flow, to be in the air, to do what I love. And I don't compare myself to others. I don't think about my inversions. I still work on them. I still do them. They don't look great, but I look at aerial now as in one of like my most weighted, most anticipated, the thing that I'm the most passionate about and the most time that I get to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think of it as I have to grow. I have to be able to do this and that to be able to get results. Or that might sound bad, but like before baby number three, like I had like more goals. Like, oh, I want to perform. Like one of my goals was to have like a hoop. Solo that I did, and I did that at Up. And then I really wanted to be part of Womac's show, the group show, and I made that a goal for myself to be in that. And I worked really hard, and I did that too, which was one of the best experiences of my life. That performance in 2019, October 2019. But now I feel like my priorities have shifted, and with having 3 kids and having like being a full-time mom, also working as a nurse, Ariel is like the sweetest treat to me. And I just go there to truly enjoy my 90 minutes. I don't go there to compare myself. I don't go there to, I don't have like set goals. I just want to be there. I want to be free. I want to be just me. I just want to be Hykui. I don't want to be mom when I'm there. I don't want to be wife. I don't want to be nurse. I don't want to be housewife. I just want to be in the air and flow. And I don't care what I look like or how strong or how weak I am. I just want to be present when I'm there. And I never thought I would ever let go of that part of my brain that would always be like, I would always be in my head thinking like I'm not good enough because I've had, 2 kids and my body's not strong enough. And I would always like beat myself up about it, inside my head. And now it's just all that is gone. And I'm just happy to be there and just flow and be myself.
Hykui, what performance was that in 2019? Was that Dance Trap?
When you were pregnant and coming in on your last days of your pregnancy.
Was that you weren't in my number though? You were on Dance Trap or Hoop?
No, I was on Hoop. You were doing Silks that year.
Yeah. Who was the choreographer for you guys? Amanda?
Sita.
She
was so amazing. Yes.
Oh my
she was so amazing. She was choreographing while she had just had a new baby too. And it was amazing. It was such a great experience.
Yeah, my bean was born that weekend.
Yes, I remember you were like heavily, heavily pregnant. You came into the last day, to the last rehearsal.
And I was like, get this thing out of me. And still trying to finish the choreography.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you had like half your clothes on, like one strap was on, one strap was off, and you were just really pregnant. And I was like, poor Carrie.
Yeah, again, I was not one of those ladies who was loving pregnancy. I was like, this baby needs to be outside of my body.
Oh my goodness.
But Hykui, I feel like that's really inspirational. And I don't think I would have said that throughout all of my years of doing this. For sure, for me, like I've been working at the loft for maybe 8 years by now. And I really think that my perspective has changed because of people like you. There's a lot of people like you where I realized that becoming professional, like having gains, getting everything was just like the goal. That's a performer's mindset. That's where I was at in my brain years ago. Mm-hmm. And I really think that I have my perspective has transformed as well, because I see a lot of students and I'm realizing there's about 1 million different types of goals you can have within this practice. Right. Sometimes it is just like, this is my 90 minutes of Zen away from my family. Sometimes it's, oh my God, one of my students said this and it was hilarious to me, like in a really like dark way. Mm-hmm. I said to that night of students, it was like a Friday night. I was like, I'm just so impressed at how high level of a hobbyist you guys are. Like, this is not your job. You don't get paid for it. This is not your career. And many of them are stronger than me, or just their commitment level is just so high. And this girl says to me, Carrie, I really appreciate you saying that, but I would like you to know if I didn't have this class, I would literally fucking kill myself.
Oh my God.
I was like, whoa. I mean, we were laughing about it.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, it's true. Ariel has gotten me through so many ups and downs of, I've had postpartum depression with all 3. It might not have seemed like
no, I didn't know.
I had it. Well, first one was the worst because, the first time mom shock where you're like, what did I just get myself into? Somebody kill me.
Right.
And then number 2, it was just too much because they were 18 months apart. It was the stress of like having 2 kids so close together in age. And number 3 was probably I had it the least because I was just so happy and I got to spend so much time with him and just to see his brothers loving on him. And It was the least that I was depressed, but it was still there. I still felt it. And Ariel helped me so much, like just getting away once a week and just being by myself, and getting in there and doing whatever I could has helped my mental health so much too. Even during the pregnancy too, when I would do it, I was so calm. I was so happy. Yeah, it's been a big part of my life for the last 8 years, and some people would look at me and think I'm crazy when I was doing it when I was pregnant, but I feel like people who don't do aerial, they just don't get it.
Yeah, they think that you're putting yourself in danger for no good reason and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But mental health is a really good reason, and
Yeah.
exercise as
Yes, staying active.
as well. But Hykui, that's so interesting that you had it all
Yeah.
3 times. Was it just because is like the pregnancy hormone just goes away once the baby comes out, and do you just feel like your body had a tendency to go that direction?
I think so. I think it was just maybe lack of sleep,
Yeah.
just being overwhelmed, not having a huge support system. Because mostly our most of the time our 3 kids, my husband and I, we raised like ourselves, so it's a lot of the load is on us, and um just keeping up and trying to maintain everything in life while having kids too. um but yeah, I mean, I'm happy I had aerial in my life, and I plan on continuing to do aerial as long as I can. And it might sound bad that I don't have goals, but
I
it
don't think so.
actually, yeah, it
Yeah.
actually is like a very liberating feeling to like not expect myself, like to put myself through stuff to get to goals in aerial, versus just being free and just enjoying the time I do get.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds bad. I think that might relieve other people to know that that's an thing to do,
Yeah.
because aerial is such a thing where it just attracts all these A-type personalities. We're just like striving, and it's like the ambition is sometimes it sometimes puts undue pressure on people when
Yeah.
it's supposed to be fun, like at the bottom line. Like, I joke all the time because like the type of coach I am, I'm like, you're not supposed to have fun. We're supposed to be aerialists, but
Yeah.
that's, I mean, I'm joking. It's like, of course, I love this thing that we do, and I'm just being sarcastic because I like to be sarcastic in class. But I also feel like I suffered from, for me, I suffer from anxiety anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I suffered a lot from that. And how do you get yourself? Because for me, the answer was therapy and medication, and which I can't imagine myself being off of until my chemistry somehow changes. But how did you get yourself out of that postpartum depression each time?
Um, I think just time. Just the first time I was just clueless of how long it's gonna last, why I felt the way I felt. I felt very guilty for, having all these selfish thoughts, until one day I spoke to one of my friends who was also a mom, and her son was, I think, 1 or 2 at the time, and she told me something that no one ever told me. I remember being very angry at people who, during when you're pregnant and you're having your first baby, during all your baby showers or whatever warm wishes people have for you, everyone's always saying the best things about being a mom. And the only thing they really say is like, oh, well, catch up on your sleep or get sleep because it's going to be horrible or whatever. But that's like the only bad thing you hear. And then, but you have so many other things, like when your baby's born, that you have to adjust to. Like, it's a whole lifestyle change that you have to adjust to. It's not just your sleep, it's everything. Your whole life changes. And I was really angry. I was like, how come nobody told me on any of this stuff? Like, why did everyone just sugarcoat motherhood? Yes, it's great. I'm sure it'll be great. But right now I feel horrible. I feel like shit. So I remember one of my friends telling me it's okay to have those feelings that you have. It's okay to um, have these thoughts of like regretting it, or thinking, why did I do this? Why did I change my life for a baby? I was fine, or this or that, or all the thoughts that go through your mind when you do have depression, when your life changes so drastically. And I remember her telling me it's okay to feel that way. Those feelings will go away. And as time went on, and I feel like it has also to do with your baby once your baby hits like 4 or 5 months, and they do more than just eat, sleep, and poop.
Yeah. Yeah.
They actually recognize you and smile at you, and you feel like you're more than just a nipple they get milk from, a woman who changes their diaper and a woman who puts them to sleep. When you actually feel that connection and you feel like they know you and they smile at you and you form a bond with them, is when my depression, slowly started fading away. So then with number 2, I already knew what it was like, and I was just like, okay, it's gonna go away. I've been here before.
Okay.
Number 3, same thing. Yeah.
Still, that is so hard. I mean, I've spoken to women who like one had gestational diabetes for all 5 of her pregnancies.
Oh my goodness.
Like to go through that and knowing like there's a really good chance that I'm going to suffer a certain way again. I mean, that's just like, that's like all moms like wow. Like to know that and to go forward versus going in a little bit naive. Oh, this is going to be great. I also had that really crazy shift of identity. Like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, I don't, I spent 41 years of my life
just taking care of yourself.
Yeah, in a certain way. And I'm not even that great at that. I'm just saying, like getting better now. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't know. How would it have been an easier transition had I only spent 22, 23 years of my life on my own? And maybe, because you get so used to. Hykui, do you mind telling us how old you are now?
Yeah, I'm 35.
Okay, so I
had first one at 28, then 30, then 34.
Yeah, so you're actually 10 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have a lot of friends. Like, I just had a friend. You want some cereal, Bean? Can you ask Papa for some cereal? So the thing is that even though both of us are home, she asked me, of course. Papa. Yeah, go ask Papa, Bean.
Always.
I'll
be doing like something, washing dishes. Like, Mom, can you open this? Like, seriously, my hands are wet. I'm washing a dish. Your daddy's sitting on the couch. Like, he's right there. He's free.
Totally. Yeah, and I just had another aerialist friend turn 50 today, and just
wow.
It really, this thing in our lives, just I think it gives us a lot of lifeblood. I think it keeps us young in ways that physically, obviously, but mentally, emotionally, all that stuff. But I didn't know that. I didn't know this whole story, and I love not knowing when I go into these things because it just brings curiosity to it. I feel like you really kind of suffered more on the back end than the front end. So prenatal was nothing to write home about, and then postpartum is just kind of a tough thing. Did you do the PT? Yeah. I don't remember if you said it that. Did you go through pelvic floor PT at all?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
I just wanted to add one more thing. Like, I felt very ashamed of the feelings I was feeling, but then once I realized that it was normal, I became like a very big advocate of like helping or talking and like making sure that new moms could reach out to me and like talk to me about anything, because I always pictured myself and what I went through, and I'm like, these moms, my friends or whoever they are, they might be feeling the same things I'm feeling. And if someone can tell them early on, like, it's okay, you're going to be okay, like, please don't hesitate to like reach out to me. And I've told a few moms like right before giving birth and after birth, like, just because I didn't want them to have those feelings like me. And it was because of that one friend who said that one sentence to me that it really changed my perspective. And I feel like I'm not ashamed to say that a lot of moms, after having especially their first baby, they're like, what the hell did I do? Why did I do this? Even though, it might seem as like it's something horrible as a woman, as a mom, to say that you don't want your child, but you can't help those feelings when your life has just changed. It went from, like a 180 or 360 change.
Yeah. Yeah. And Hykui, do you have any advice for somebody like me? Like, okay, so I'm a new mom. You've been a mom for many years now. How do you balance like being like how much do you work a week? Like being a
I work
nurse?
2 times a week, twice a week.
So you do 2 shifts a week as a nurse?
Yes.
What's up, Bean? Bean, can you give me like a couple more minutes and then I'll come, okay? She just pooped in the potty for the first time ever today.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Yay.
So good. How do you like do you have any advice for women out there who are new moms balancing the kids, the work, and your relationship? Because from the outside looking in, I'm sure it's not the case, but you guys look fucking perfect. You guys, I'm sure that is not the case, but like you guys are so Instagrammable. Like your husband's good looking, you're beautiful, your kids are so gorgeous, and you just look so beautiful and happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it takes a lot of hard work to maintain the busy lifestyle that we have between school and music lessons and sports. Each of one of our sons, our oldest two, play like 2 sports each, which means they have 2 practices a week each and 2 games each. Plus school, plus homework, plus me being away for 2 days out of the week, plus me trying to get away once a week to do aerial. It's a lot of work, and I cannot even tell you the last time my husband and I went on a date, just me and him, because our whole lives are consumed by our kids. But we just try to, whatever downtime we have when they're sleeping, to catch up on us and our relationship by even just watching a movie or just laying in bed and talking and or talking or having dates with our whole family. We go on family dates, Carrie.
No, and that's what we do. And I feel like like girlfriends, like nobody's specific, but everybody's like, oh, go find date night. But we want to have her with us.
Yeah.
Like we want to go to dinner with her.
Who do you trust with your 3 kids or 1 kid or you're going to spend the whole time probably thinking about what she's doing or if she's okay. So might as well just take her with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that because that's what we do. But no, I mean, it just must be. Does it feel sometimes really difficult?
It does, because I feel like, before kids, it was just me and him. So we were together all the time, going wherever we wanted and doing whatever we wanted. But, having kids slows that part of your marriage or relationship down a lot. But as long as, you keep the everyday, alone time a little bit going, I think it's okay. And as long as you guys are on the same page and, raising our family together, we've just grown to be used to, not having a ton of alone time like we used to. And we used to just be dating when it was just me and him.
Yeah, I have a friend. Her and her husband are both good friends of mine, and they just had their 3rd. She has a stepson. One of them is from another marriage, but then 2, and they also have 3 boys.
Oh, wow.
And right before the Bean was born, I told Eric, her husband, Gail and Eric, I was like, Eric, I'm never going to be alone again.
Nope.
And he goes to me, is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
And I remember that, like that. I was like, oh, well, maybe not. So, but it is different when they start to like have a personality. Like I always used to think like, oh my God, when she grows up, she's growing so fast and all the baby stuff, all the baby clothes, I have to get rid of them. But it turns into you have to leave the baby stuff behind, but then her personality starts coming out, and then oh my God, it's so fun to hang out with her.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's a lot of times where I crave alone time. But I only need like maybe an hour to like reset and be able to go back into mom mode. And I think it's natural to also feel those feelings of frustration or wanting your alone time, even if it's sitting in the car for an extra, 30 minutes before going into the house, or staying in the bathroom a little longer, just to have a little bit more of your own time before you go back into mom mode or wife or housewife mode.
Hykui, you have boys. Does that mean
Yes.
you get bathroom time by yourself?
No.
Oh, man. I thought maybe that was a given.
The older two, yes.
Okay.
But Adonis, the baby, he follows me into the bathroom all the time. So now I just put him in the bathtub and let him just play with toys in the bathtub without the water on until I'm done.
Well, I mean, I joke about it, but the only time I go to the bathroom by myself is when I'm at work.
Yeah,
Of course.
basically.
Because I have a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Bean.
They follow you everywhere. You can't hide, Carrie.
Hold on. What, baby? I can't hide is the end of this podcast.
You cannot hide. They're coming. Dun, 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 dun.
But it's all right. But I thought I thought maybe if you had boys, that meant that your bathroom is a zen space and you have candles. No?
I don't care.
With boys, like I don't have one and I'm like a little scared of the little boy. I'm like, I don't know what to do with that thing. Like the boy overall.
It's way easier than like cleaning wise, it's way easier than a girl. I feel like I would be so lost if I had a baby girl. Like, what do I do with this?
No, front to back. That's it. That's the only thing you gotta know.
Front to back.
Front to back.
Yeah, with boys you just get peed on because you just open a diaper and it's a fountain.
It's amazing.
And then the best is when the fountain goes towards their direction into their face, and then they start crying, and you're like, "You did it to yourself, though. Well, I don't have nothing to do with this. You did it."
I love that, but also like later on, then your husband can step in for all those convos, for all those conversations.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm not looking forward to those. He can have all those.
Well, I look forward to see. You know why I never see you is because you usually take hoop class, right?
Yeah, you need to start teaching hoop again. I feel like there's a lack of a 1.5, like a good solid 1.5, because beginner is like very beginner.
Yeah, it's like getting on.
And then advanced is the level like twos are like super advanced stuff that like I would be scared to go back to.
Well, also it's because it's somebody called Amanda Ritchie, and she is a badass.
She's a badass. I took her classes for like a year and a half straight, and I used to do the craziest shit. And when I look at my videos, I'm like, I can't believe I risked my life like that. I'm not doing that now. I have 3 people I have to live for, or 4.
4 people.
4 people I have to live for. I'm not dropping from the span set to the floor. Like, no, not happening.
No, Hykui doesn't like to be above the hoop very often. We've had this conversation in class.
Oh yeah, you remember?
Yeah, no, of course I remember. I remember. I was like, but when you're on silks and you're 10 feet up, it's just not the same feeling. She's like, it's not, but I'm still not liking this. But well, thank you for your feedback. I might bring that to the attention of my employers. But okay, so I'm glad that you're in this space, even though I don't necessarily see you. And I feel like your story will resonate with a lot of ladies out there in the world, because I feel like I've had a lot of stories on here, and the opposite problem happens. Like their pregnancies are terrible, but then baby comes out and all the problems are not there anymore for some of them.
Yeah.
And then a lot of these like really super ambitious and ambition can be great, but it can hold people back because it can get in people's way of actually enjoying their practice, I think, because I feel like aerial can be for everybody, but not necessarily every day of your life. It's a journey. It's not
okay. It's okay whatever level you're at. It's okay. It's going to be fine. Don't mind the girl doing all the crazy advanced stuff next to you. You're fine just the way you are.
Yeah, because you just don't know what life path they're on too.
Right.
Yeah, you just don't know. I struggle with it all the time, because a lot of things that come easy don't come easy to my friends, don't come easy to me. And then the things that I use my example all the time with my students, because I'm just like, look, my best friends are like Sarah Mnofsky and Rachel.
Yeah.
Like they're so strong. They're beyond strong. And I struggle on my inversion 2 weeks out of the month, so, but I have different skills. Yeah.
And you have a beautiful being, and anytime for any fraction of a second now post baby 3, if anything tries to run through my mind, I'm like, I have 3 beautiful boys, and I'm just so lucky that my body allows me to be here. My mind is doing good. My mental is doing good. And I'm just happy I'm here and present. And I'm a badass.
Yeah, and Hykui, you're gorgeous up there. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You're gorgeous, and your family's like Instagram, like gold star. You know, so, which is important to a lot of people, not necessarily to us, but no, it's like you're awesome, and you're such a positive energy in the space too, which is great.
Thank you. I'm so flattered and I'm so thankful. I didn't get a chance to say thank you for inviting me onto your podcast. I've listened to several interviews and I love it, and it's very informational, very helpful for moms, for aerialists, and whoever is out there listening. And thank you for considering me. I was very flattered when you reached out to me.
Oh, of course, but it's also because I want like every type of story. You know, like I think it's important to get the diversity. Geographic diversity, the diversity in your story, you know, everything. Yeah. So
I was like, what are we going to be talking about? And you're like, I'm like, what? You want to hear about me?
Oh, of course. I want to hear all about you. Yeah. So thank you, Hykui.
Thank you, Carrie.
All right. Thank you so much to Hykui for being here and sharing your story with us. We appreciate you so much. And listeners, go to the show notes to get the link for both aerial rehab and the mini course by Wrap Your Head Around Silks. And as always, my Instagram, free aerial silks content every week. And then the book that I have, Understanding Aerial Silks. All right, guys, all those links are also in the newsletter. If you don't get that, if you sign up for any of that stuff, you'll also get the newsletter. I really appreciate you for being here. If you would honor me with 5 stars and a review where you get your podcasts, I would love you forever. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you next time. This is The Expecting Aerialist.